Hi, my name is Dr. Daniel Fox. I'm a licensed psychologist in the state of Texas and an expert in the area of personality disorders. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to stop the racing thoughts, to slow your roll, and hold your horses. We're going to help you sort of focus your attention and increase your control of the world around you and your reactions. First off, let me explain why this is so important. Knowing how to control yourself and your reactions is just as important as knowing what is going on with your beliefs, behaviors, and patterns. Folks with BPD are usually at odds with themselves. They're often their own worst enemy because of that impulsivity, engaging in these maladaptive and unhealthy reactions and patterns that they have so much trouble getting out of. And coping strategies can really help to do this. And I see a lot of this difficulty folks have in a lot of my clients. And learning coping skills and skill management strategies is so important to manage and overcome this. And it is possible to do it. You just have to learn the skills, utilize those skills as much as possible. And before we get started, if you'd like to subscribe, hit the bell, or check out my website for more information on personality disorders or me or anything else. So let's get to it. Let's get started. Here we go. Now, there are many ways to control your racing thoughts and the tendency to engage in those maladaptive and unhealthy patterns. You can reduce their occurrence. It is possible. It takes time and practice to master coping strategies, because a lot of times you have to unlearn those old maladaptive strategies that you're kind of used to falling into. But these new strategies, they can be useful in managing racing thoughts and impulsivity at any time, in any situation that you're in. Now, as you go through this video, I don't want you to try all 7 of them at once. Be like, oh, I'm going to try this one, try this one. Find 1 or 2 that fits and practice. Build up mastery to help yourself. Then, if you need more, or after you try it for a while, you're like, this just isn't clicking for me, and sometimes it's not going to click, then discard it and learn another one. Learn what fits for you. It takes some time. Practice creates mastery. And give yourself some time. You're going to need some patience. So let's get to it. Let's get started. Now, the very first one is focus on now, not the future or the past. Now, for some people, racing thoughts and impulsivity stem from something that has not happened yet or may never happen. Other people focus on things that happened in the past, which cannot be changed. So it's important. People who experience a lot of racing thoughts and impulsivity should take every effort to think about what's happening right now. Bring yourself to the present. Now, you can say some things to yourself that may help, saying, I won't worry about the past or the future. I'll focus on what I can control. These are things to say to yourself. That's a good place to start. What brings you present? Stay present. Push out that fortune teller. That fortune teller doesn't know. You want to push that person out. Push that little thing in your head. Push it out. Okay? And then, because that fortune teller is deceiving you, and it's unnecessarily amping you up. Okay? And when you get amped up, it's a higher probability for you to react out impulsively. Now, next one is taking deep breaths. And you're like, everybody knows that. I know, but very few people do it. And a lot of people have difficulty actually slowing down and taking these deep breaths, even though it is so helpful. Now, the body's natural panic response is to speed up the heart and breathing rate. Now, this may happen when the mind begins racing and you feel this impulsive urge to react. Slower, deep breaths can reduce the body's stress response and promotes a feeling of calm, helping to quiet and stop racing thoughts and those impulsive urges. Okay? So we'll practice a deep breath right here. So deep breathing, you can do it anytime. You can do it in the car. I do it a lot at stoplights. Okay? So it's really good. You just want to breathe in for 3 seconds and then out for 5 to 10. Okay, I didn't make it quite 10 because, you're doing it on the camera, but okay. All right, nice and slow. Now, what I did there is I was breathing with my chest. It's better to breathe with your stomach, okay? So when you breathe in, right, it's like a balloon that it expands. So my stomach expanded, and then to breathe out, right? That balloon deflates. And you can lay in bed, you can just put your hand on your belly there and feel it go up when you breathe in, and then slowly go down when you breathe out. Those deep breaths can really help you, especially if you have trouble sleeping. You can try that. Okay? If you're frustrated or agitated, take a moment, put your hand on your belly. Nobody knows what you're doing. Don't worry about that. And just, okay? But breathe with your belly, not with your chest. The next one is think about other options. Now, your life is not a game show, so there's no one right answer. Okay, so because racing thoughts often end up in an anxiety-provoking, worst-case scenario, and you can easily kind of get wrapped up in it. You can start catastrophizing, get wrapped up in this perceived disaster. Now, this can lead to a vicious cycle of more anxiety, continued racing thoughts, and until you eventually impulsively act out, because all that energy builds up, and you have to act out. Okay, so a person whose mind is racing feels impulsive, right? And may wish to tell themselves that this worst case scenario is not going to happen. Challenge that thought, right? What's the evidence? What other choices do you have? This worst case scenario is not going to happen. Telling yourself that. You can think about other more desirable options, right? That are more likely to occur. This is, instead of, I'll get fired for that mistake, you can change the thought to, everybody makes mistakes, and I'll do what I can do to make it right. Okay. Another one is, I can manage the situation by, and then add in an adaptive strategy. I can manage the situation by deep breathing, by doing A, B, and C, talking to a trusted other or friend or something like that. So a lot of times what happens is, the worst case scenario, this is that people send out a text, and I think a lot of us have this expectation of this immediate response, right? We're going to get that immediate gratification. And when we don't, then we start to catastrophize. We start into this worst case scenario, right? He or she doesn't love me anymore. They're ignoring me. They deleted me. They're not going to talk to me anymore. And all of a sudden it just blows up into this worst case scenario. And but the reality is that the no text leads to response, anxiety, fear, fortune telling, catastrophizing, and acting out impulsively. How do you do it adaptively? You recognize that when you send out that text, don't expect an immediate response. If you get one, nice. If you don't, that's okay. Remember, people's phones die, people's service goes in and out, right? Depending who your provider is, right? So, I mean, there's all these other factors that can be involved that don't pertain to you. So think about those other viable options. Okay? So that's important as well. Think about those other options. Now next, you can also try distractions. Now, what's a favorite hobby? Especially one that is calming, that can quiet the mind and help you focus on something other than racing thoughts. Adult coloring books, such as like this one, okay, right? Okay, these are very popular nowadays, and it helps to reduce stress. It offers like a calming distraction. Painting is another one. Gardening, cooking, playing an instrument, or other possibilities. Video games can be distracting. Games on your phone, watching calming YouTube videos. There's this one of, it's a drone that flies around Maui. I like that one a lot. I think that one's pretty great. And so try these distraction tactics. They can be really helpful for you as well. The next one is use mantras. Now, a mantra is a simple word or phrase that you can repeat to calm your mind. They can be particularly useful in times of panic or racing thoughts, when you're pushed to that impulsivity. So phrases such as, I can get through this, it will be okay. These things can be helpful. What kind of mantras have you created for yourself that are positive and helpful? You'll be surprised maybe about how many negative mantras you have. When you're catastrophizing, or your fortune teller is telling you this is going to happen, you start thinking, oh, they hate me, I have no value, I'm worthless, all these other things. But use those mantras, use that same habit, but change it to be adaptive. And what's something positive you can tell yourself? It will be okay, I can get through this, and things like that. So mantras, this allows the mind to focus on one simple thing. And if you make it positive and encouraging, it can lessen a lot of that anxiety and stress and racing thoughts. So this turns the mind away from racing thoughts and reduces that urge to respond impulsively. Now the next one, this is one of my favorites. This is inhale lavender essential oil. Now, lavender has a reputation for being calming, and there is some research to actually back this up. I use this all the time. I love the smell of lavender. I try to have it in my office. I certainly have it in my home. It's just really nice. You can get a little diffuser and put a little lavender oil and just try to smell that, and it's just this calming kind of odor, and it just smells so calm. So lavender oil, that's another one. Now the last one, this is exercise. Now running can help you with racing thoughts. Racing thoughts and impulsivity, this can be controlled with regular physical activity. Regular physical activity, research has shown, it improves mental well-being. It also may be helpful during an episode of racing thoughts, and it redirects that restless energy instead of acting out impulsively. So now numerous studies, as I mentioned, have been used and show that continuous or sort of scheduled activity can help just overall increase your mental health and manage your mood. Now, if a person feels racing thoughts, if you feel them developing, you can go walking, jogging, or similar activities may help to settle the mind. You don't have to engage in exercise, intense exercise, for the benefits. 15 minutes of walking will do it, or whatever you're able to do. But getting up and getting that energy out, exercising it out, can really help you. So remember, try one or two of these, see which ones fit, and let me know in the comments which ones work for you. Maybe you have something else that has worked. I know folks do read the comments, so that's really helpful for them. If you have one, again, put it in there, that's really helpful. And remember, be cool, be calm, and have a great day. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.